Welcome back. So in this lesson, we're going to add some colors to make this thing a little bit more interesting looking and just for fun, really. And then we're going to add some interior to make it a little bit more dynamic. So let's switch to Material Preview or Eevee. And I'm going to just hide this wheel well. So just click on that little wireframe and hit hide. We can always bring it back. And click on the car body. And let's go to our Material tab and do New. We'll call this car color and change it to anything you'd like. I'm going to do red because that's how I roll. And you can even, make it more metallic if you want. Play with some of these sliders. You can't break it. So just, you can slide any one of these you want. Maybe add some, different types of specular. You can do, change the roughness, and that'll make it a little, less rough and more shiny. That's pretty good for now. And click on your wheels and let's add a new one. We'll call this tires and just make it like a dark gray or black. There we go. And there is our car. I mean, it's technically 3D printable right now. It would definitely 3D print on its side and roll off the print bed, but I think we can make this look a whole lot cooler. What do you think? All right, so let's keep on going. So click on your car body and let's go tab into edit mode and let's just select these faces. You can even just double click or alt click on the edge there and that should do a loop select around everything. And we're going to use the inset tool. So click on the inset tool and just bring that on in. But it's not really looking like we want. It's kind of doing this weird pyramid looking thing. So what we need to do is with this inset faces box, it should appear for you down here in the bottom left. Check this box that says individual and watch what happens to our windows. There we go. That looks more car-esque, wouldn't you say? And so that's all we need for that. We can get out of that inset mode or the inset tool. And then now what we're going to do is extrude all these in. And if we did, just the normal extrude, it's going to kind of do it more down, but what we want is the extrude individual. And that's going to do more of a kind of an inward extrude. And I think that just looks a little bit better. And you don't want to do it too thin, so make it pretty thick somewhere in there. And that looks really cool. So we can go back, hit W, or just get your selection tool. And now what we're going to do is pop out these windows. So make sure you still have all 4 windows selected, and then we're going to do Shift D and duplicate these windows like that. And just hit Escape once you've done that. So the new windows are just sitting right on top of the old ones, but we want to kind of pop these out and create a new layer so we can have more control with it. So to do that, we're going to hit P on our keyboard, and you see that's the shortcut there, P. And that is separate selection, but I just say P for pop. So I'm going to pop off this selection. So we'll just click selection. And then notice over here in our layers, we've got car 0.001, and that is our windows. So just double click on that and say Windows. And if we go back into object mode, we can select our windows and go into edit mode and then just hit A to select all. And we've got our windows. And really we need to kind of hide our car so we can do some magic real quick. So let's go back into object. Sorry for the back and forth. And we'll just take the car and hide it. Click on the little eyeball, or what I like to do, just hit H. And it should look like this. You should just have wheels and these like 4 windows floating right here. So click on your windows, tab into edit mode, and let's go to point mode. So just hit 1 on your keyboard. And now what we're going to do is join these little dots together. So just shift click on all these little dots and then hit F, and notice it fills in that little space like that. We're going to do the same thing all the way around. So just shift click each one of these and hit F to fill it. Make sure you clear it each time. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then F, and then single click, and then shift click, shift click, shift click, and then F. And there we go. So now we want to fill in the top. So just double click or alt click on the top there. or maybe Alt double click for you and hit F, and that will fill in the top there. And then we're going to do a similar thing down here and just double click, and it should highlight everything around the edge there, and then just hit F, and that will fill it on in. And we actually don't need to call this windows. We need to name this maybe like car interior, because this is going to be, we're going to use this to subtract from our car. So let's go back into object mode, turn our car back on right there, and let's bool tool this out of our car. So we still got the car interior selected, and then we'll shift click on the car and do Control minus, and notice something happened because we've got this wireframe box, but it's not disappearing. And the reason for that is because these windows that we just made are exactly in the exact same spot as the original window. So the Boolean doesn't really know what to do. It's kind of just doing nothing. So what we need to do is add a solidify modifier. So make sure you have your car interior selected still. We're going to do add modifier and do solidify. And we'll do 0.5 for the thickness and keep -1 for the offset. And then just make sure you've got these last 4 selected. And it doesn't look like the Boolean has worked here. So let's just kind of push and pull that around, and nothing's happening. So let's check our Boolean modifier, make sure we did the right modifier. And we did. We've got the difference there. So let's keep playing with these. Maybe go to, aha, there we go. So maybe do 0. That looks pretty good. May just have to play with the offset a little bit. So -1 doesn't do anything. 1 is a little too far. Or really, you can just kind of eyeball, what's looking the best for you there. So yeah, let's do 1. I'm liking that. So 1 should let you have everything, kind of like a wireframe for your car there. And now what we're going to do is go into edit mode on our car interior, and let's grab the face right there at the bottom. And it doesn't look like it's going to let us select. So let's go into X-ray view and just click right there. There we go. So we've got the inside kind of flat part of the car selected. And then let's just hit E to extrude and bring that pretty much all the way down. We don't want to go through the car there. So let's go to our side view. And I've gone a little too far. So I'm going to hit G and Z and bring it up. And we're going to go pretty low, right almost to the bottom there. And then now let's hit S and scale it in just a little bit. Maybe just right outside of our wheel wells. And the reason I'm doing this is kind of to cut out a lot of this this plastic. This is all going to be, that would just be solid plastic down there if we left it, way up here. All this right here would be plastic that would just be printed. And so we can save time and material by kind of, cutting it out. So we'll hit S, kind of just take it as far as we can go. I'll maybe hit G and Y and kind of even it up just a little bit. Now let's go to the front view. I've still got that same one selected, and let's do scale on the X and make it almost like a diamond shape. That way we can stay in kind of like our 45-degree rule. So just kind of, that same type of curve. So that's looking great. So now the inside of your car should look something like this. And then I'm going to turn off our X-ray view here. And that's looking pretty awesome. Go back to object mode. We can make sure we have our interior selected and just hit H to hide it. And there we go. So now we've got our inside of our cars. We've got some nice, cool shading, but I think we can make this car look even cooler. So let's jump into the next video where we're going to add a bunch of details.